Well, hi again, everybody. It's back to Thursday night football again for the third straight week for the Robert E. Lee Red Raiders as they take on Lakeview Centennial coming up Thursday night at 7 o'clock at Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium. The Red Raiders looking for their first district win following this past week's loss to Rowlett. Tough ball game out at the stadium, 54-20, and Coach Daryl Piskey is with us. Let's start off just talking a little bit about the importance of this week's game. Start off on a positive note. You're still in a position where the playoffs are still very much out there for you guys, Coach, but is it fair to say that this is kind of a must-win game this week?
Yeah, I mean, that's the way you got to look at it. Talking to Coach Miller at Lakeview this weekend, we're kind of in the same boat. We both played two quality opponents. They opened with Rowlett and then Rockwall, and we opened with Saxon and Rowlett. Two good opponents, and you get beaten both of them. So, now you're sitting there, your kids, probably lack a little confidence. But understanding mathematically what we've talked about with ours, and I'm sure Kendall has also, is, if you get 4, there's a chance you could get in. You're going to need some help. You get 5, you're in the playoffs. And so whoever gets this one still got a chance at 5. If you let this one slip away, then you got to win your last 4 and somehow or another get some help to get in. And, neither one of us want to be in that position.
What does this team need to do right now that they haven't done these first 2 games?
Well, we got to be more consistent on offense. We got to continue to improve. At times the other night against Rowlett, we made them drive the field. I think it was 13-6 at the first quarter, and made them drive. And we got to feed off, our emotions in the second half. I think to me the first half of the game's played with emotions and excitement, and the second half of football games are played with heart and character. And so when things don't go good, we don't need to tap out and surrender. We need to find a way in the third and fourth quarter to keep playing with the same heart we came out of the game with.
So really, in the second halves, the math, you can look at the numbers. The second halves of the games this year have just not been good to you. What kind of expound on that? What do you have to do?
Well, really, I evidently hadn't done a good job of instilling some heart and character in this group of guys, Vince Lombardi said the harder you work, the harder it is to surrender. And so maybe I hadn't worked them hard enough where they don't want to give up so easy. So I got to find a way, as coaches, we got to find a way to instill that in these guys. We're not just in a battle for a football team and winning games. We're in a battle for America's future. I mean, we got to teach these kids not to give up, battle till the end, work hard. And so if we do that, we're going to win some of these games.
And, it looks like to the untrained eye that they're still playing hard out there, but I hear coaches say all the time, we didn't play hard enough. Can you define what that means, playing hard? What does that mean?
Really, you won't know it unless you know what they're supposed to be doing on every play, and, you see it on film. On film, it tells you a lot because you get to slow it down. You know what they're supposed to be doing. In live action, a lot of times you can't tell. But really, if I get blocked, it's not staying blocked. If I fall down, it's getting up and hustling until the whistle blows, getting after it, going 100 miles an hour. And that's what playing hard is. That guy may be bigger than me, faster than me, and stronger than me, but a lot of times I can out-heart him if I'll just stay after it and fight with everything I got. If a guy, when you're about to pass away and you don't want to go yet, you're going to fight, take that extra breath, and that's what playing hard's all about. You got to look at it like it's a life or death situation, and until the whistle blows, I'm going to go as hard as I can go, as fast as I can go, and try to help my team be successful.
Because that's a good life lesson. I mean, things don't go well all the time. Be great if it did, but they surely don't.
That's right, and that's just everybody calls this generation the selfie generation, not just because of their photos, but all they care about themselves, and so somehow we got to instill upon them that you got to care about other people, your teammates. You got to pull together, and just fight and battle even when things aren't going well. You can't quit on life, and if you do, you'll be one of those people that end up living by yourself and not having a lot of friends because you won't help anybody and care about anybody else.
I took my son's on this team, and I told him, he's a senior, and I told him, you know what? I mean, who knows? I mean, you guys may play 10 more games. You guys may go to state. But I said you might as well enjoy and play these last 5 games out like life depended on it, because it doesn't. But man, this may be the last 5 football games you ever get to play.
That's right, and there's a lot. We've talked about that. You only guaranteed 5 more. I mean, you seniors, they've put a lot of time and effort into it.
But have fun and play hard.
Yeah,
out
just
there,
go
right?
out there. What we talk about in pregame. All of us have some issues in our lives. No matter what it is in your life that you can't stand. What we talked about, a few weeks ago, and we talk about every week, is for 48 minutes I get to go out there and forget my life and play football. Us older guys. Just using that term because you're sitting here, but us more mature guys,
I'm an older guy.
We wish there's time. That's what coaching's so great about. We all got problems in life, and you got 48 minutes. You get to go out there and forget all about it, and just get after it. Try to rip people's heads off and do things physically that you get in trouble for at school or on the streets.
Yeah.
And you're going to miss it when it's over. And hopefully these guys won't wait till that passes them by to figure that out.
And if they'll do that, then things will work out okay for them.
Yeah,
I mean, if they'll play like that for the rest of the season, just let it all hang out. What the heck,
That's right. That's
See
right.
what happens.
You'll be surprised, and they'll be surprised at what happens if they do that for 4 quarters. Not just when it's going good,
right?
But the whole game. Go, hey, I'm gonna go 100 miles an hour for 4 quarters, and let's see where we are at the end.
Yeah, just kind of take it. It's the oldest cliche in the book, but take them one at a time, right? I mean,
one at a time, but enjoy every one of them.
Enjoy every one of them. The young quarterback, Chance Amy, boy, I see so much potential in him. This will be his 3rd start this week. What's he doing right? What's he doing wrong so far?
Well, he's done a lot of good things. Last week he kind of had a little sophomore-itis, which every sophomore quarterback does. They were bringing a lot of pressure, and O-line, you got their tails whooped a little bit. But what a young quarterback does is once he sees pressure, flash of color, he takes his eyes down to that color instead of evading that with his feet and keeping his eyes upfield. So we missed some guys open deep. But that's just going to come with practice, maturity, game time where he learns to do it and can trust those old linemen. He runs the ball pretty well. We've been wearing him out about tucking that ball away. And then on a very key moment in the game the other night, he runs for about 35, 40 yards, runs hard,
and then
fumbles the football. That's the kind of things. He's just got to continue to get better and mature. And the biggest thing to me was learning how to keep my eyes off that rush, see it out of my peripheral vision, but keep my eyes on receivers because we kept having guys open up. There was room to slide in the pocket or step up, but a lot of young quarterbacks do that, and that's what Chance is going to have to overcome. He's got a lot of tools to be very talented.
I was going to say the potential's there. He could be very, very good.
That's
for
right.
you.
Big, strong kid, throws the ball. Got to get his feet quicker. We're trying to throw the quick hits and stuff, and he's got to continue to work on those feet. They're way too slow, which causes it's a ground-based sport. Everything starts with your feet, and it's the same as a quarterback. You'll watch him on his hitches. He's a little slow and sluggish getting around, which makes him slow getting it out there, and defenses react and get there, or the ball sails on him. So he's going to get better and better.
Looking at the game and being there and broadcasting the game the other night, your touchdowns came on big plays, but you weren't able to get any long, sustained drives.
That's right.
Is that too oversimplified on my part?
No, that's pretty much it. We got our butt whooped up front. And, when that wasn't happening, we weren't finding the receivers open downfield, like we just discussed. But the biggest thing was O-line up front. We're a running football team. I don't care who the quarterback is. We're going to base it out of the run. That's our strong suit. We do have weapons to throw it to, and we can throw it once you get your secondary involved. But we wasn't able to run the football the other night, so we couldn't sustain drives and keep drives alive.
And the one stat that I just never, and again, this is in the course of the game, and maybe you don't realize it until after the game's over. Tavon Wesley had 4 carries in that game. He's got to get the ball more than that, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think you'll see that a lot this week. We're kind of taking some of the read stuff. That's a negative part about what we do offensively is we don't know who's getting the ball. There's 3 options when the ball snapped, and so we don't determine that. So we've changed some things this week to where we're going to be a lot more effective at being able to get those guys the ball that we want to get the ball.
How did the defense play?
At times they played pretty decent. You look, and I think it was 13-6 first quarter, making them drive the football. We played pretty good up until half, and then, like you say, right after half, we don't get inside leverage on their receiver. They take the first ball, they throw it, 70, 80-yard touchdown, and then our kids get their head down. They don't play with as much heart the rest of the time. And that's what we got to get over defensively. Even without Zach, we got to play like there's hope. when Zach was out there, you know, everybody kept continuing to play with hope because they knew Zach's pretty special and going to make things happen. Now, offensively, we got to play as a team and not rely on just Zach because Zach's not out there. But defensively, we got to continue to play with the tenacity of hope and just fight to the last whistle.
The upshot, speaking of Zach, give us an update. You play this week and then you have a bye week. Is there really a chance that you'd get Zach back in the mix here in a couple of weeks, possibly?
Well, that's what I'm hearing. You know, it's going to depend a lot on Zach, his rehab, how he's coming. You know, we talked to him about, you know, nobody's going to do anything to jeopardize his future, but he needs to push himself, you know, and to show everybody that he's just fine because he is. He's going to be just fine.
We're talking about the colleges.
Yeah,
these
guys.
This, right?
That's right. They, you know, they're looking, they're paying attention, and so. You know, he's got to just get out there and bust his tail to get rehab done, show up every day, work hard, continue to take care of business in the classroom, and do everything he could be. And there's a chance, you know, we come back after our open week and you know, we could have 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah, it'd be good.
Be a good problem to have.
Be a good problem to have.
Right.
And again, there's still a lot of season. The bottom line is, Coach, there's still a lot of season left.
Bunch.
And I mean, these 2 games have been terribly disappointing, especially the home game. I was disappointed in the home game. I was particularly disappointed in the crowd, by the way. I've been to funerals that had more racket than I heard the other night from the Lee fans, so I'll call you guys out a little bit, make a little more noise. But I was particularly disappointed there. But there's still a lot of season left.
A lot of time to go, and we got 5 games left. Our future's still in our hands. We just got to control it and go get it. You know, there's a lot on these kids, and they got to have some desire and want to. And you know, these seniors especially. I mean, like I talked about a while ago, this could be it for them. There's a lot of them that want to go on and play college football. But the numbers, you know, when you do the math across this country, how many get to, it's not a high percentage. So enjoy it while they can and make the most of it, and maybe that'll lead to them a chance to play college football.
Just have fun. I mean, it's supposed to be fun, and if you have fun and play hard, good things generally happen, don't they?
Yeah, if you keep your head up in life and just get after it, I mean, good things happen to you. You're going to have some bad things happen, but as long as all you can control is your attitude and how you react to what happens to you, you know, and that's what we got to do.
Again, the game on Thursday night was a 54-20 Rowlett win. It was 26-20 at the half, and the second half, again, was not kind to the Red Raiders. Coach Piskey brings along game video of some of the key plays, and again, there were some big plays on both sides of the football for Robert E. Lee, and so let's take a look at some of those key plays. Beginning early on, you're on offense.
On offense, Chance does a good job. Number one, we have protection. Ajuwan gets free from his guy, does a good job battling to get in the end zone, but Chance threw a perfect pass. Did a good job of hitching up in the pocket. I think we'll see another view of it right here.
I thought for a moment they'd gotten him just short of the goal line, but he reached out and tagged the end zone for you.
Yeah, that's right. Perfect throw. I mean, Rajuwan, all he had to do is go as hard as he could to get to it. Yeah, he looked short to me, but he raised his arms, so
you didn't argue.
We'll take it.
Again, that's senior Ajuwan Barker, number 11.
Chance to Ajuwan. But your O-line, you look, they did a good job there with their protection.
Yeah, and Ajuwan, such a good basketball player, such a good athlete. You're even using him in the secondary.
Hit that arrow right.
Yeah, we got, there we go. We've got to keep it going here. We'll hit the right stuff here.
Right below,
hopefully
Right
momentarily.
below that.
And
to your left, to your left, to your left. Down.
How about that?
Right there. Click.
There we go. Maybe that'll get
Modern technology.
Modern technology here. We'll try to get
blank screen, blank computer.
Got a blank screen. While we're working on that, though, Barker has played in the defensive backfield for you. He's played wide receiver. We know he's a heck of a basketball player.
He's on special teams.
He's on special teams. I mean, he can pretty much, he's one of those kind of kids you can pretty much roll out there, and he could play just about any position on the field.
Yeah, and
including quarterback.
That's right. I mean, and 1-1, Ajuwan's one of those guys that just really, he likes playing the game. You know, we tried to, I felt like he deserved, you know, you do your interview every week, and I felt like Ajuwan kind of deserved a chance to be the guy you interviewed. And he goes, Coach, I don't like to talk, I like to play.
Well, yeah.
And he really does. I mean, whatever we ask him to do, he gets out there, he's playing both sides. And giving effort on both, playing till he's just, you know, there's not a breath left in him. So he's that's got to be a tribute to him.
Yeah, he's an awfully good guy. And again, I've watched him play basketball, and I guess at the college level, his future might be in football. I think he's got a chance to be a pretty good wide receiver.
I don't know.
Or a DB,
it depends on the level. You know, his top end speed is probably his weakness, but You know, he runs good routes. He's physical. He can catch the ball. But, you know, he might end up being an outside linebacker, strong safety type for somebody because he covers well and he'll knock your head off when he gets there. He likes contact and he'll have some options, you know, and take care of business in the classroom and keep playing hard and he'll have a chance somewhere.
So you couldn't talk him into doing an interview, huh?
No.
Okay.
It was funny. He goes, Coach, I don't do that talking. I like playing.
You know what? There's something to be said for that.
I wish I had about 25 more of him. We'd be in good shape.
While we're working on that, let's talk a little bit about Lakeview Centennial. They're 0-2, but they've been scoring a lot of points too, haven't they?
Yeah, you know, they're 0-2 in district. Started out 3-0 in pre-district.
Yeah.
So they've been scoring a lot of points. They got a lot of speed. The little 6 kid that had to play tailback when they played us last year, the tailback, 20 Linwood, he's back. And so 6 was out there at the slot.
Right.
Really, he plays every position on the football field. He'll be out wide, he'll be in the slot, he'll be at tailback, he'll be the wildcat quarterback. He's fast. He's another Tyreek. So we're going to have to tackle Tyreek a bunch this week in space. You know, O-line wise and quarterback wise, O-line just gets after it. Quarterback's solid, runs pretty well himself, throws the ball pretty decent. So they're going to be a challenge for our defense. Offensively, we got to control the ball, control the clock, which sounds crazy coming from a hurry-up tempo offense, but we got to score when we got it. We know they're going to score.
Which is what you didn't do last week. You never had those sustained. Every touchdown was a quick hit.
Yeah.
And in the end, don't you need to it'd be great for those 5-minute. You got to love those 10-play 5-minute drives, right?
Well, it sure helps. You know,
Yeah.
you look. You know, it doesn't help all the time. You look at Arkansas, and you know what happened.
Yeah, doesn't work all the time.
You know, but it's a good thing if we got the ball. Second half, that's what hurt us last week. We didn't do a thing on offense. Second half football game, and so you know, therefore they outscored us and pulled away, and we got our heads, you know, down and didn't play football.
You talk about those. Are they a spread team?
Who's that?
Predominantly Lakeview.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is everybody in our district a spread team?
Pretty
this
much,
year?
you know, pretty much. Rockwall still, you know, Auburn and Gus Malzahn, they're spread, but they'll use that sniffer back.
Okay.
That big defensive end / sniffer back that they got, and so, but everybody else is pretty much doubles and spread it out and let's go.
A philosophical question. I maintain if a high school football team would come out and run the veer and get really good at it, never lose a game.
Kind of like wing T, you know, the guys that still
Ennis
run
won a
wing
state
T.
championship running the wing T last year at the
That's
5A
right.
level.
That's right.
You can't practice
That's
against
right,
it, can you?
because you don't see it anymore, you know, and so, you know, I know at Fairfield that helped us as we were still in the eye and everybody spread out and we stayed physical on both sides of the ball, you know, and that's what happens to your kids. You get that spread stuff going and you're not as physical and you got to find a way to stay physical on both sides of the ball, whatever you're running.
Why didn't somebody do that then? I guess maybe there are teams out there that are doing that.
Yeah, there are. You look too, like talked about Ennis last year. Kennedale at the 4A level with wing T, they're pretty good. Liberty Hill running the slot T, they're pretty good. It depends on what you got and the mentality your kids have, you know. But a lot of people are going to this spread simply because you can get kids. Kids aren't as physical today, you know. They're I don't want to call them softer, but kids today, you know, they wasn't working in the hayfield and doing all that stuff growing up. They've been sitting in the house playing PlayStation, and so when you get those good old kids that are tough and you can line up and hit people in the mouth for 4 quarters and on both sides of the ball and usually have success with it.
Continuing now with the highlights, here is the
Play to Barker.
Another look at the play to Ajuan Barker, which came early in the ball game, gave you a 7-0 lead in the game.
Yep. Here we're going, I think Chance is going to pull it here on the next play and make a pretty good run. Again, it's a read play, end squeezes, Chance pulls it. Mason's blocking off the edge, and you know, Chance does what he does. He's big and physical. Wide angle, same thing.
Yeah. All the gears working on that play, right? A good block on the edge. I think it's Mason Parker, I think, got a good block out there.
Him and Tyreek, a couple of munchkins out there getting after it.
Mm-hmm.
On defense here.
And again, they had their quarterback. I was impressed. Bonner, their senior, he did a good job.
He can wing it. That's Chris Sims making a break up there on the top shoulder. Had help underneath with the safety. Did a good job breaking up the ball. But yeah, the Bonner kid, they threw it well on time. you know, did a good job. We knew that. You know, we told our kids they beat DeSoto in 7-on-7 at state tournament this summer. They got to be able to throw the ball well playing against athletes.
Chris Sims, a senior cornerback, did a good job on that play. That's good. It was a good play. It was a nice play. Now, you didn't make a defensive change at halftime. You went back to a 3-man front, but you're still in the 4-man front here, right?
Yeah. Trying to give them some different looks. You know, we've got both. It's kind of what they kept doing to us. We saw 3 different fronts. That's Mikhail Sanders coming up, reading his key and making a good hit for us.
Mikhail's had a nice season for you this year, hasn't he?
Not bad so far. Gets a little sloppy on his back pedal, and so he can't stick a foot and react as fast. We're hounding him about that every day. But he's, you know, he's physical, got a lot of length to him.
And he's a junior, right?
Yep, he's a junior. Played last year a lot as a sophomore.
Big hit there that delivered, and that's was a good shot defensively. More defense. They're challenging the end zone here on this particular series. See what the defenders come up with. Got a little pass rush here.
Another pass play, and that's Mikhail Sanders making a good play. We're man coverage. That little 20 was a pretty good receiver. Kyle did a good job on him. You know, we don't have any help inside, so he's got to take away inside leverage and play over the top of the outside ball.
Get a nice play. A little goal line stand here. They had to settle for a field goal on this series, I think, Coach, did they not?
Yeah, I think so. We had a couple of those, which was pretty good. And this is, you know, that's the inside backer. Miller fitting just like he's supposed to fit. Guys turning it in. Mikhail actually was a little wide there and stacked on top of the outside backer, but Miller saved us by being that alley filler inside out.
Miller's an awfully good tackler.
He's pretty good
tough.
tackler. He missed once in open field late in the game, but sometimes them little jitterbugs in open field make you look dumb.
Here's the strip and score.
Samples got a strip and got him a score. Now he wants to play running back.
Oh, really? Here's a wide-angle view of it. But that was just a really good individual play by John, right?
Yep, that's right. Got the strip and the recovery. Scoop and score.
That was right before halftime, and so the halftime score was 26-20.
Yeah.
And you're very much in this game at that point.
It's a fake punt here. Miller makes a great catch. Rhett Parker does a good job getting out there and throwing it, but Miller made a good catch on that. He's got really good hands.
Yeah, Rhett Parker, this is a sophomore, Rhett Parker, Mason's little brother, who is your backup quarterback right now.
Yeah.
And kind of an H-back type guy, right?
Do a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Inside receiver, plays a little bit of everything, really putting a lot on a little sophomore, but
playing special teams.
here we are back at the start here. This is Ajuan's play.
Okay, all right. Again, that's the Ajuan Barker play, and there you go. He had pretty good separation when he made that play. The opponent again this week is Lakeview Centennial. They got off to a good start, and it looks like they've struggled in recent years, and the district has kind of been top heavy. That when Garland for a while had their own school district, or their own
right.
league basically of
Yeah.
their own teams. UL sort of broke up that party this year, and you were one of the lucky ones that got
Well,
invited
South
to the
Garland
party,
went
right?
down,
Yeah.
and so with South Garland's numbers dropping, that left an opening, and then them trying to figure out, where to put us way out here in East Texas, and Rockwall Heath dropping, so that left us in Rockwall to be able to join them, make an 8-team district.
All right, so people ask all the time, I'm sure you've been asked, why are you playing all these Thursday night football games?
Well, really,
I know the answer, but I'm going to let you explain it. And if you don't do a good enough job, I'm going to explain it, okay?
well, for years we've been in the district with Mesquite and
they were great, by the way.
Longview, and was in that same district, and they never made us put you in a bind. If it's an in-town game, you're playing on Thursday night, just like we did last week. It's not that big a deal. Still, kids get home at 10:30, 11 anyways, which is a little earlier, and they're going to go to bed on a normal basis. But we keep having to drive over on Thursday nights. And
you did it twice last year. That's what got it started,
supposed to have done it 3, but we switched remember we moved our Lakeview game to our open week.
But that was last year. That starts the ball rolling, and they never played on Thursday night here in Tyler last year.
No,
All right.
and so
it gives you a little background. Okay.
Give you a little background, is that's us doing it every week, 3 times supposedly last year. Ended up being 2 times, but they had a schedule for 3. And so when you do that, I mean, it hurts in a lot of ways. Number one, these kids, you know, they're students first. And so we get home 1:32, 2:30 in the morning, try to get them here for school the next day. Our attendance, I know Mr. Brown, talking to him, our attendance drop after these Thursday night road trips is about 5%. And so, and plus for your football team, once you get on a Thursday routine, it's better for you to stay on a Thursday routine.
They take care, Garland's taking care of their own schools, playing them on Friday nights, and they're making you travel, okay?
Yeah, that's pretty much bottom line. And
so you had a chance to return the favor this year, right?
Well, I just kind of looked at what's best for us. And, you know, what I thought is, you know, after playing JT, a big rivalry game, Saxe played on the Thursday before we played JT, and then all of a sudden we were scheduled to go to Saxe and play them on a Thursday, which shortened our week and kept them a regular routine. And so once we got on that Thursday routine, and I felt it was best for our football team to stay on a Thursday routine. So we're going to be on a Thursday routine against Rowlett, and then we're going to be against Lakeview. And then we have an open week, so we have time to gather ourselves, and we'll get back on a Friday routine when we go to Garland.
But did they not protest, Garland protest all these Thursday night games?
Well, they
coming
wasn't
to
real
Tyler?
excited about it, you know, and so they tried to, you know, discuss it a little bit. But, you know, bottom line, I mean, it's our stadium, and we got to do what's best for our team. We had a conflict, you know, with last week where White House, actually, JT and White House played at the Rose Stadium.
But there's no conflict this week.
well,
you could play on Friday night at home this week.
Well, you could. You got the fair traffic, you know, on Friday.
Please, come on.
Anyways, it's just best for our team. But, you know, I think once these guys, you know, and I was talking to Doug, the Rowlett coach, about it last Thursday night. I said, really, and he's got 5 Thursday games, you know, but they're all in town.
In
except
town,
one.
that's
what I explained to him. I said, you're going to hate tomorrow morning because he's got first period athletics just like we do. He's got first period classes, second period classes. I said, your kids, it's going to be hard to get your band to school, your drill team, not just your football team, your whole student group that goes with you to a game, which is, you know, a couple of hundred kids or more are going to be missing school on Friday. And so hopefully if they'll figure that out, if we end up in that same district next year.
Or you get back in the Mesquite district where they treat you right.
Yeah, Coach Bragg does a good job thinking of that stuff, you know, and so.
I'm not nearly as politically correct as you are.
Well, you don't have to be. I still have to see these guys all the time, but it really is the bottom line.
I'm way past.
It's not a good situation for us or our kids. Like I say, once we get on Thursday routine, I like it. Now we get to open week after this one, go back to our Friday routines, and it'll all work out well.
All right, since I'm on a roll, I might as well go ahead and tell you again that the game is Thursday night this week at Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium against Lakeview Centennial. Robert E. Lee fans, you made zero noise this past week, none. I've heard, like I said, I'll say it again, I've been to funerals that were louder, other than the band. They did their deal. But call you guys out. If you call yourselves fans, you got to show up, you got to make a little noise. John Tyler fans make plenty of noise. They support their team, so it's time now for the Red Raider fans to step up as you get ready for your game this week against Lakeview Centennial. It's 7 o'clock Thursday night, Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium. Hope to see you there. The Red Raiders need and deserve your support. For Coach Piskey, I'm Bill Coates. Thanks for joining us.